people are far more likely to take you seriously if you're marketing to your niche and you're just really, really niche down, focused on a specific group of people and solving a particular problem that they have and marketing to that problem. The first thing that I see entrepreneurs doing, especially cheer gym owners, is they're trying to speak to everyone, and in the end, they're actually speaking to no one. I have a TikTok is a tactic. That's not a strategy. There's got to be a way that you're turning people into paying clients, and there's always multiple steps. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cheer Biz Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Cotton, and today we are going to be talking about how I didn't know you could be marketing and still be invisible until I was. Now, before we get into the episode, please make sure you go over to Cheer Gym Owners on Facebook and you have joined that group. And if you've already joined that group and you're a coach or a coach and owner, join All-Star Cheer Coaches and Owners and make sure you're in both of those groups. That's where we have fantastic discussions going on and you can learn more about the Academy. If you want to learn how to get a coach and avoid some of the marketing mistakes that I have made in your business or many of the other mistakes that I've made, make sure you head on over to nextgenowners.com and you schedule a call with my team to learn more about how you can join the Academy and take your business to the next level. And if you're interested in meeting us in person or talking about some of these subjects in person, like marketing, make sure you get registered for our conference in Dallas, June 20th through the 22nd. We're going to have amazing business tracks, owners tracks, managers tracks, and coaches tracks, all for you to grow your knowledge and grow your abilities as a gym owner or a coach. So make sure you get registered for our conference in Dallas, June 20th through the 22nd of 2025. Now, let's get into this. So today we are unpacking some of the biggest marketing fails that I see new entrepreneurs specifically make. Some of them are painful and some are kind of funny, and all of them are expensive when you're making the mistake, whether it be the money that you're spending on the marketing or the money that you're not making because you're not doing the marketing correctly. So I want to dive into this. Now, marketing is something that I spend a lot of time doing. I'm actually not even the chief marketing officer of Next Generation Gym Owners. That's my good friend, Danielle Johnston. And she is actually she's the pro at marketing. I am more of the I try it and fail marketing expert, meaning I've done a lot of stupid things. I've wasted a lot of money. I've made a lot of mistakes. And we're going to dive into some of those and some of the common ones I see new entrepreneurs, or even if they're an old entrepreneur, entrepreneurs who haven't done a lot of marketing that they're making. So number one, the first thing that I see entrepreneurs doing, especially cheer gym owners, is they're trying to speak to everyone, and in the end, they're actually speaking to no one. So generic messaging doesn't convert. You need to find your niche and stay in that niche. And now most of us listening to the podcast are in the cheerleading niche, but how you message within that is the question. And what I see a lot of people doing is when they're kind of trying to speak to everyone, is they're not focusing on creating an avatar. They're not saying, I'm trying to talk to moms ages 25 to 55 within 15 square miles of my gym who are around this income bracket, who have 2 to 3 kids. You can get very, very specific as you're defining your client avatar. And a lot of people aren't doing that, or they're just trying to speak to people who are already in all-star cheerleading. So they're just saying, I'm talking to anyone who likes cheerleading, whether you're a high school cheerleader or you're a college cheerleader, just anyone cheerleading, right? And then you're marketing to this really broad audience, or you're trying to talk to everyone in the country when you're a local service-based business and you're making that mistake, which I'm probably going to talk about that error a little more specifically later. But by trying to talk to everyone or trying to go into every possible avenue, like I'm going to do ninja, I'm going to do all-star, I'm going to do recreational tumbling, I'm going to do birthday parties, I'm going to do preschool classes, I'm going to do karate, I'm going to do swim lessons, I'm going to do bow hunting. I'm going to do video game club. Like what you do, all of the things, you try to just speak to everyone. Anyone with a kid is my client. And what happens is you blend in and you're kind of white noise. People are far more likely to take you seriously if you're marketing to your niche and you're just really, really niche down, focused on a specific group of people and solving a particular problem that they have and marketing to that problem. So by trying to talk to everyone and not actually solving a specific problem and not actually knowing exactly who you're trying to talk to, you end up talking to no one because you're just trying to talk to everyone. You think you're fishing in a stocked pond, right? Why fish in a tiny little pond when you can just fish in a really big one and just hook any fish? But the reality is that I would way rather be in a small pond with a decent amount of fish and the exact pole and lure and hook and bait that I know is going to hook every single fish in that pond than be throwing something random out into the ocean hoping something bites. So we really want to make sure that we know what our niche is and we're marketing to the exact fish. And how we do that is we concentrate on our niche, we figure out what our client avatar is, and from there, we figure out what problem they have that we are solving. Too often, the problem that people are trying to solve is winning cheer competitions. And although some people do have that problem, most of the time when people are going for that, when people are looking for winning, number one, they're going to be your least loyal clients because the moment you're not winning, then you're not delivering on that need. And now that's their problem again. Number two is everyone competes. So again, how do you set yourself apart as being the best at competition? I think it's just that's a very tenuous thing. You've got to find what you do that's different and then really lean into that and marketing that. Number two is falling in love with tactics instead of actual strategy. Now, what do I mean by this? So tactics is like, I use social media marketing on TikTok. Okay, well, that's not actually a strategy. That's just a singular tactic. So you may love TikTok. That may be your preferred tactic. You may like to make TikTok videos, and that's your approach. But if you don't have an actual strategy on how you're getting on TikTok and who it is you're marketing to, then you're just posting TikTok videos, right? So me as a gym owner, just posting videos of me dancing and doing like the popular things on TikTok, it might even get me followers, but it's not necessarily a strategy to fill my business and market my business. So we don't want to just get obsessed with one particular tactic. And that could even be people who fail to evolve, right? You had the tactic of print flyers that you were putting out at schools, and that was how you got all your kids, and that was your tactic, was print flyers. And now your schools either don't allow it or print really isn't converting as well, and you say, well, but this is my tactic, like that's what I do print. Well, that's, again, it's not a strategy. Having a true strategy is, figuring out how your funnel is going to work, your marketing funnel, where your touch points are going to be, how your social media is interacting with your website and where it's sending them for a landing page, and how your landing page is designed to convert or at least get leads, and how your email marketing is designed to nurture those leads into paying clients. You have to have that full strategy in place. We can't just obsess about the tactic. Oh, I've got Instagram, I'm good. Okay, that's a tactic. The strategy is a series of tactics put together, right? So when I was in the military, there's military tactics. There's a book of various tactics in specific to, certain actions, but that singular tactic has to be tied to a broader strategy. And as an infantry officer, my job was to help implement the strategy. And there's always kind of a top-down approach. So, the battalion is deciding the strategy for the battalion, and then the companies are just deciding their strategy to achieve the battalion mission. And then the companies from there are giving it down to their platoons. And then each person has their roles all the way down. And there might be a myriad of tactics like cover and move. Bounding Overwatch is a tactic where one person's moving, one person's covering. But how does that fit within the overall strategy, right? So tactics are micro things and strategies are macro. They're much more broad spectrum. So if you don't have a macro strategy, you're just kind of guessing and you're just going with one particular tactic until it works. And not to say that if you have something that's working really well, that you shouldn't double down on that. But you need to have a broader strategy. Simply, I have a TikTok is a tactic. That's not a strategy. There's got to be a way that you're turning people into paying clients. And there's always multiple steps, whether it be the strategy is Instagram gets an Instagram message, which turns them into a sell by chat conversation, which gets them in for a tour, which then has a prescriptive model of sales. And then you get them into being a paying client. And I'm just laying out one possible strategy. There are countless strategies. Now, I will tell you that we at NextGen have kind of figured out some of the strategies that really, really work. But even then, I'm consistently iterating on the strategies, and I'm currently doing one right now that is absolutely crushing it, but it is a full spectrum strategy. It's not a singular tactic. All the things have to work together for the system to really work. Number 3 is inconsistent branding. So every post sounds like it came from a different personality, or I go to your Instagram or your Facebook or your website and they all feel different. I go to your Instagram and everything is competitive pictures and stories. And then I go to your Facebook and it's all, flyers for camps and events. And then I go to your website and it's just kind of a big billboard of we're super awesome. And I don't really know who you are. I want to be able to tell your brand. A customer wants to be able to know your brand by visiting your various platforms, whether that be your website, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, all of the different things that you potentially have. You want to be consistent across your brand. You want people to go there and go, this is a family-oriented gym. This is a competitive gym. This is a gym that trains skills really, really well. Now, most of us have competitive gyms, and I'm not saying you can't be broad, but if you have a couple different things, then that should be your brand. Your brand is, developing competitive athletes. That's my brand, is developing competitive cheerleaders in a safe, family-oriented atmosphere. That's our brand. And I think that we do a pretty good job showing that brand across our platforms, whether it be our website, our Instagram, our Facebook. They all are consistent with one another, delivering the same message. So you want to make sure that you have very consistent branding, especially because the straight line marketing is slowly dying. I've talked about this on other podcast episodes, but it used to be that you could put out a Facebook ad and say, hey, we're running this event. And then people would go to your website and they would sign up and you were done. Straight line, right? They saw the thing they wanted. They went to the website, they bought it. Now we're seeing that people will see your ad. They'll go to your website. They'll check out your Instagram. They'll check your Facebook. They'll engage with your emails. They'll check your Instagram again. They'll look at some stories, and all of that is occurring. And they're kind of following this weird grid, not even a grid, this almost drunken mess of a path to get to purchasing. We're just not seeing that same straight line continuum that we were seeing 5 to 7 years ago, because there's so many more options, and people are looking at Google. They're looking at Google reviews, and they're looking at Yelp, and they're looking at social media, and they're looking at all of these different things to make sure that they're making a good decision, because there's so many different products out there claiming to be the best thing. So they want to bounce around, and having a consistent brand will make sure that your voice is very, very clear and people know what they're getting from your product. Number 4 is focusing on vanity metrics. So people oftentimes will focus on how many followers they have and how many views they have on something. And those things can be important. I'll dive into a couple ways that I use those things to analyze whether or not something is good. But vanity metrics are actually really ineffective in a local service-based business. Now, if you're a national brand, it's a little bit different. But when we're talking about a local service-based business, I don't actually want a bajillion followers. Especially one of the things that was really popular a few years ago, and I still see it happen all the time, which is hey, we're a new gym. They post this on a group Facebook page, one of our Facebook pages. They might hop on there and say, hey, I'm starting a new gym. Go like my Facebook page, follow my social media. No, we don't want that. You do not want a bunch of gym owners and a bunch of random people following your social media. Why? Because they're not going to be your clients. They're never going to be your clients. And you don't want me and my friends in Oregon seeing your content. Why? Because I'm not in your state. We're never going to be your customer. So you're just having the algorithm have a harder time figuring out who to show your content to. So you want to make sure that you're not focused on the vanity metric of, oh, my Facebook has 50,000 followers. Who cares? Like, unless you're trying to get monetized and you're trying to become some sort of an influencer, that really doesn't matter. Yes, I know it's great for ego. And trust me, I was there, y'all. Like, I tried so hard early on in the first couple of years of owning our gym, because that's what everyone cared about, was vanity metrics, to get in the upper thousands of Instagram followers. We wanted it so bad, and we wanted so many followers, and it really didn't help us grow at all. Like, at all. I would way rather have a page that has 1,200 people following it that are all highly engaged, highly qualified prospects, and sell to those people than have a bajillion followers. Now, how might I use a vanity metric to influence my marketing? Well, if I have a post that I see has a lot of shares and a lot of views, I post a video that gets like an organic video that gets a lot of engagement, a lot of likes, a lot of shares, a lot of comments and things like that that are positive, that might tell me that that's a really good video to use in an ad. Because now if I pay to amplify it, I'm going to get more of those cold eyeballs seeing it. And whatever it is about that video or that picture or that thing, people were responding to. It was within the living, breathing thing of the internet that people were getting excited about. And I might get a better return for that advertisement. So that might be a way I would use a vanity metric of like, oh my gosh, this video got 10,000 views or 100,000 views or something like that, because now I'm seeing that people are engaging with that for some reason. Again, I want to make sure they're engaging with it in a positive way, because it's entirely possible to go very, very viral for a negative thing. But that would be something I would potentially look at and then use that thing, post it again, but make it actually a paid advertisement. Number 5 is what I was just talking about, which is avoiding paid ads because you're scared of losing money or you don't know how to do it. And here's what I'll say about this. Paid ads are one of the best levers that you can pull on to grow your gym, because you can, if you do it right, you can target the correct people. You can build your lists. And again, you have that marketing strategy. So then you can continue to engage with people and that are qualified leads, and you can use paid advertisements correctly. Now, can you waste a lot of money in paid ads? Yep, you can totally set them up wrong and you can burn through cash. You can have a really high ad spend for no reason and get little return on it. Get lots of views and little return. So you do need to make sure that you know a little bit about what you're doing. With that, I would actually encourage you as a small business owner, as a Cheer Gym owner, to learn it before you go out and hire an outside company to do it. Because oftentimes these ad buyers, these people who are going to offer to do a Facebook marketing campaign for you, they don't know your industry and they're just going to pump something out. And they're going to set it to get lots of views and lots of engagement, but they're not going to set it to build you quality leads. I got taken advantage of early on doing something like this because we hired a company that guaranteed us a number of views, and we certainly got it, but it didn't get us a number of clients. You should consider using paid ads. Paid ads can be a huge resource for you. They can give you a massive return on investment if you do them right. So if you need to learn how to do them right, this is actually something that we specialize in the academy. It's something that we can help teach you how to do, help you test, help you iterate, and help you improve upon. And then there is also some really crazy stuff coming out that if you're coming to Dallas in June, I'm actually going to be presenting on for our academy members, one of our new products that we've been developing and is going to be really game changing for gym owners in terms of marketing and paid marketing and lead nurture. So the biggest takeaway for this is to get strategic, to know your market, to understand your niche and your avatar, and build a plan that serves your goals of growing your gym. You can get very deep down the rabbit trail in terms of ego when it comes to marketing, but we want to stay focused on actionable, achievable goals. So if you've loved this episode, if you've gotten something out of it, please share it with another Cheer Gym owner that needs to hear it, that needs to know some of the mistakes that were made in marketing, or maybe a manager who's in charge of doing these things. Reach out to NextGen if you need a little bit of help. We are here to do that. That is what we do. And far beyond marketing, we are here to help you grow your gyms. As always, thank you for listening. Make sure you get registered for our conference. And with that, we'll catch you on the next episode.